What's going on, yo? It's your boy Y.I.C.N, and this is a different interview. We're gonna be dropping a lot of gems in this interview right now. Right now, I have a guy in my studio. He's a successful bar owner. He's a real estate guru, family man. He's a guy could bug 24/7 out the day. He'd be like, yo, why this nigga calling me 24/7? But he drops jewels. Right now, I have my guy Will from Sidebar. Right, what's going on, Will?
How you doing?
How you doing, man? How you living, man?
Man, I'm God blessed.
Yo, I got a lot of questions for you. I got a lot. I need you to drop a lot of jewels. You see, before we start this, don't forget the podcast is sponsored by Winter Red Rum Punch or sponsored by Smoke Shack. Go check it out. You see, my guy owns Sidebar. What's the address of Sidebar?
242 South Avenue, Rochester, New York.
They got the best food. Best food.
Appreciate
They got the best vibes, best drinks. They got this jerk sauce right here. OMG, it's off the chain. Sidekick. It got a little spice to it, so watch out. How long you been? How long has the bar been open?
Well, we've been open for about 5 years going on now. It's our 5th year here.
Okay, what made you get into the bar?
Well, the bar itself, it was brought to me by a business partner I had before. Personally, I always have ambitions to add, a bar or a lounge or a club to the portfolio of things. So, I guess this is how God brought it to the table.
Okay, so like 2017.
But no, I launched it 2016.
2016, so like 5 years. Oh, okay, 2021.
2016, yeah.
How was the road for Sidebar? Tell me about the road, and keep it a buck, like, because when we're talking, I want like inspiring bar owners, inspiring restaurant owners. I want them to get the good, bad, and the ugly of everything. I don't want. I hate how I go on IG every day and people are like, oh my God, I'm successful and I have this house and I got this multi-million-dollar business, and they don't talk about the bad days. Like, we get bad days.
A lot of bad days. Well, those bad days are really learning days. You know what I'm saying? Had to tune my mind and self to understand that I don't take losses, and nobody really takes losses once you learn a lesson from it. So it's really just learning lessons. So it comes from the hard knock life where you really gotta learn from experience. Not many mentors, anybody really staring towards you, just really following your dreams, you following your ambitions and your intuition. So with the bar life starting it off, it was different. Brought in to the ordeal. Not to get into many details, but brought into the ordeal by a person I knew. Had to rent the place out initially. Had to go through a little politics behind that because of my location and where I'm located at. I'm located centrally downtown Rochester in the center of the city. So, it's not the easiest place to be into with person of the, pigment and background.
You know what he's talking about.
Yeah, just politically correct, but, nothing can stop you once God got you. Got into that deal. I'm a carpenter by trade, so rehabbed the place.
You say you rehabbed it by yourself?
Yeah, rehabbed it by myself, to be honest with you, when it comes to just the financing and the building of it. I have my contractors that came through that did the plumbing and the electrical and stuff like that, but when it comes to the carpentry, designed the place out, built it up. Took about 10 months to do that because I was transitioning to different things in life, and just took a little while. With the business partner I had at the time, we were working together to get it going. Business didn't really fall out the way it's supposed to fall out, and at the end of the day, ended up becoming the 100% owner of the place. But with that, just still working at it, and this is just a lot of ups and downs and ins and outs. I had no real experience. I have no real experience in the bar, restaurant, hospitality field. Just had an ambition to be in it and an opportunity to actually make it come to. So anything I put my name on or anything I sign on to, I try my best to. I do my best at it. And if I fail or succeed, either way, I know I can walk away because I put my best forward. So
100%.
100%. So when I got into it, I know I just couldn't stop until I can see something from it, and God really filled in the blanks. So it was a difficult road to get it going, and it's still a difficult road to keep it running. Had a lot of different things happen during the times from opening it up to I had to close back down because of a accident. Just because of a problem and stuff that happened during the bar, and so it was just a lot.
Yeah, is it worth it though?
Yes, I believe that it's worth it because how things are working out. How even during times of days that maybe I want to stop or quit or just give the whole thing up, that God creates another provision. I know that it will lead into something else into life.
Right.
So I'm a person that just like to continue going.
That's deep. That's deep. Tell me about like the first like, I don't know. You say when you start a new business, but like the first like 6 to 10 months of when you actually launched your business, the ups and the downs, like getting people through the door. It's more than just walking into a bar and getting drinks and you then people see, you know.
Yeah.
So talk about that. Even like the workers, the steady, the food, the consistency of the drinks, the making, you know, it's Rochester, so a lot of bars really do not stay open for more than a year. Like you be saying you started in 2016, you open to 2021. That's a blessing.
Eat fully.
Because me as a people, you know, I'm a DJ, and there's not a lot of bars and clubs that I've been DJing in that are open for more than 2 years.
Right. So when I came into it and approached the whole process in my mind, I travel a lot. Try my best to get around and see things and soak it in. So in other cities, especially main hubs like down in Atlanta, that's currently, but you know what I mean, most things like New York, Brooklyn, and even out west and stuff like that, down in Texas and stuff like that, you get all these lounges and stuff. Like, you know, during that time in 2016, it was a crazy time. Even before that, you know, life was real loud and life was real big. So everybody's out partying and everything. But during that, it came with a lot of hectic things. So
As in?
violence.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Just normal life of what comes with, you know what I mean, when everything is just really popping. People like to talk about the yin, not the yang, which is just everything is great. Yeah, we got great clubs, but there's a lot of effort going on. Like,
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah.
As I get older too, you know, a lot of times, you know, you don't always want to go to a club. You know what I'm saying? You just want to go to a nice fucking lounge. That's what's happening in bigger cities. It's nice. It's a bunch of clubs, but it's nice lounges where you can come and chill out, have some good cocktails, have some decent food, and just have a good time and still have a great time and go home.
Right.
So with Rochester, New York, what I've seen from how I believe innately in my core that we didn't have that.
Back in like the 2015, 2016.
2016, and I believe even still now within the urban community, we still don't have that.
Right.
So everybody, mostly in my mind, was then and still now. Everybody, because it's a club, they want to run everything up. Everybody wants to be lit.
Right.
You know, with lit comes bottle service, comes money, comes heavy drinking, comes everybody spending money, brings the ballers, brings everybody out.
Brings everything, the good and the bad and the ugly.
Everything. Yeah, the good, bad, and the ugly. But the best part about it is just the money. So, you know, clubs run up their money. So that's why the Rochester, I believe, from my experience, because I've always been a patron from different places and things of everybody. Everybody, I'm chill, but everybody know I comes out and support.
Right.
You know what I mean?
From day one.
From day one, from years ago, from young. Rochester needs a lounge. Even with my lounge, it needs more lounges.
Right. Because it can't just be one.
Can't just be one. We had a couple, and we still have a couple, maybe coming back. But I believe my niche in the market was that I brought the out of town feel to the Rock in the sense of just I don't do clubs.
Right.
Sidebar started off as a lounge, so my first 6 to 8 months was very, very difficult because nobody really understood the concept.
I get that.
You know, and then initially, like, I really started grassroots, really started out the pocket, out the core, where it's like I built the place. I didn't have a kitchen. Outside was grilling off a fresh grill outside, and everything was just still raw, just like I built it. It took me 5 years to build it to where it is, and I don't know where God's going to take it, so it's going to take me more time to still always reinvest. So I reinvest in everything. So when it opened up, it was mainly my main concept, which is differentiates me from mainly everybody within the urban community of Rochester, New York, is that I serve cocktails. That was my main focus, of creating a lounge and serving cocktails to the urban community, because either when you go out to the club, all you get is call. Can I get a Henny and Coke? Can I get a Grey Goose and Coke? Can I get only cocktail we really know is like Fuzzy Neighbors and Long Islands.
Okay, that's what you mean.
So I created a whole cocktail list with the team that I had. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all my bartenders and the staff and the team and everything. We sat
Dope
down.
team.
Very dope team. I've ran into a lot of very great people throughout the transition of Sidebar, and I salute and I appreciate every last one of y'all. Trust me. I know I try my best to show it. One's here and one not here still. But I started off with cocktails. So what differentiates me from most people inside the urban community, when I say urban community, means like the diverse community of what's going on in all major other cities. So Rochester, we have a different climate
Okay.
when we go to different places. I notice. So we have high end places, and we have dive bars, which is low end, not low end, but just dive bars, and then we have these clubs.
Okay.
Other cities have lounges, which is the middle ground. I focused on the middle ground. The middle ground is the cocktails for me. We don't get cocktails. I have a long cocktail list, fun cocktails, high-end cocktails. When I say high-end, we make it out of top shelf liquor, not no BS, Hennessy's.
Yeah.
We have our famous Golden Girls, which is just like 4 different cocktails named after each Golden Girl cast member.
Okay.
Each one has different flavors. We made them out of Hennessy as the base, and those are martinis. We also have a real famous one throughout the city. A lot of people like. We call it a Bad and Bougie during the time.
Is that the Hennessy one, right?
That's a Hennessy one.
That's
also.
my favorite one right there. Man.
Yeah.
What's in there? What's in that Bad and Bougie, man? All I know is it be getting me there.
Good. Inside of Bad and Bougie, we have a rose champagne. We have a fresh frozen fruit.
Yeah.
And we put Hennessy and another little special mixture in there for everybody to have.
I'll get that after the live goes on. I gotta make that at the house.
So my main focus was just like the 6 months was just hardcore, but it's just like I was going through different bartenders, different staff members. I learned a lot, and I focused on the cocktails. So it made it hard to bring people in. But after a while, they caught on to what's going on, and then I had to build a kitchen. Shout out to my brother. You know what I'm saying? He helped me get the kitchen going. He's the man behind everything back there. So with him, brought him in, and we developed. He's the one that's behind this sauce. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, this sauce right here.
Yeah. So.
Oh man, yo, this
Yeah.
this sauce is different. If you never been in Sidebar, listen, y'all need to go check Sidebar out. What are the what days are you in Sidebar?
The days that we're open right now currently is Tuesday through Saturdays. From Tuesday to Thursday, we're open from 5 to 10 right now, and then on the weekends we're open from 5 to 1 o'clock in the morning.
So okay.
Yeah.
So y'all need to go check out Sidebar. Go get the food. Yeah. I like the mac and cheese, the jerk chicken, the
Shout out my bro.
Yo, that steak. Oh my God, them beef ribs, cause you could.
Shout out big bro.
Yo, bro. Yo, yeah, it's valid. I like how you said something about longevity. You mentioned something about money. A lot of these clubs are focused on just the money aspect. Yeah. Do you feel like that's a reason why a lot of establishments, especially urban establishments, are not open for as long as they should be? Because me as a DJ, I see the greed in a lot of people. I don't say names. I'm just talking about a lot of urban establishments. That greed, when you're charging people certain X amount of money, like outrageous money to get to the door, you're charging X amount of money for them to for bottle service, X amount of money for just a simple drink, and then when club owners get mad when people smoke out your bar, they drink out your bar, they shoot out your bar, club owners look at these people like, yo, you guys are ruthless, but I feel like it's a greed, like. So is there anything that you think there's like any?
In depth, everybody has their own business plan initially. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know why, like we just saying, like people charge and everything. It's more than just the business owner of the establishment, because a lot of times, they let it out to promoters and stuff like that. Everybody has to eat. You know what I mean?
Period.
Nobody is putting a gun to anybody's head and forcing you into the club. So if they mark their price at a certain price, like in other cities, sometimes you got to pay $50, $100, if not more, to get into certain places at certain times. So if their promoters and the club owners are doing what they got to do to run it up, I don't knock it at one bit, because you're not forcing anyone to come to your establishment.
Yeah,
at all.
Like patron wise.
How people act, I don't think that's totally on the owner of the spot or even the promoter, but you got to understand what comes with what you're promoting to come to your spot.
What do you mean?
Meaning is, if you are, whatever you're promoting, if you're promoting bottles, bad bitches, we chilling, whatever's going on,
Right.
you got to know what certain levels of things come with that.
Right.
So you have, when doing that, that's just on them to make sure they have the proper security or whatever and whatnot. I haven't owned a club yet. You know what I mean? I still solidify myself as a restaurant lounge. So club is the next level for me if God has me there. So I don't know their headaches they go through, but I understand a little bit of it from being in the industry that they have to do what they have to do because they have bills to pay.
Exactly. A lot of bills too.
They have a lot of bills to pay. They have staff to pay. They have supplies to fill. And they have utilities to go through, and they also have a life to live too. Because business is not a fun for all, free for all. You know, people are in business to make money and sustain your life and whatever.
Take care of your family.
Take care of your family. So that's why when I say I create a sidebar, I didn't want to deal with that hassle of that. So like I don't charge at doors. Like my business is always free. You walk through, it's always free. If we have an event and if it's a ticketed event, it's something we do that's just off time or we have different sections in our place that we make a solidified for. And when we do that, you have a great benefit
Right.
to whatever you're
getting food, you're getting a drink, you're getting something, a good vibe.
Something, we do a lot of sponsored events from liquor companies and stuff like that. So we give bags and stuff like that. But mainly we're all free. So that changes the market with that. So the violence and everything is just the people. You cannot govern people, but you ought to understand what you're attracting to your establishment. So I try my best to attract a different my thing is a mentality. So if you're thinking about you want a place that's peaceful, nice and chill, nice, cool out, you could come any kind of way, you know what I'm saying? You could come, preferably you come nice and clean, whatever, but you could come and relax and chill out and have a good time. And I've been working on that for the 5 years to conjure those people, and I thank God for that. That's what's been coming to the establishment.
Right.
You know what I mean? So going on. So I don't knock anything anybody has to do to make their money and get what they have to do, but you just got to know what comes with that and the watchful eye when it comes to us.
Okay. One more thing, if there was one thing that you knew now that you should have, what was one thing that you know now that you would have changed if you knew back then when it comes to the bar/restaurant aspect in these 5 years? You can take a minute. I'm gonna chop it on.
I would had to say take into account more than anything that when it comes to business and you having business and employees, it's the people management. And when I say people management, it's just I have the responsibility to make sure that I create the proper team that works together to obtain the optimum goal. And the optimum goal is to make sure that our customer service is at its peak. And when our customer service is at its peak, and then we're watching what we're doing in the back office, that this place is successful.
Okay.
So if I had, I would say mentorship on how to, I've had all great people, but I had to learn that rawly, like in the field. So if I had that mentorship or advice beforehand, understanding that, yeah, you want to run your business, but you're in a business where you really have to run the people, because you really have to manage the people and put the right people in place to create a team. Like I'm a team player type of person. Like whatever I ask my employees to do, I have done and I still do.
Right.
So you cannot tell me what can or cannot be done in what time frame or whatever, because I've been put in a position from the day one where I literally had to run the ball all myself, from cleaning toilets, washing my hands, sanitizing, pouring drinks. You know what I'm saying?
I hope so.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But just make sure everything is run locking up, making sure everything is good, paying employees, running all that stuff. So God put me in a position where I had to learn from the ground up, and I'm still into that position in a sense, but still knowing that I can delegate out to the right proper team members. So I'm learning more now. It took me years how to people manage and put the right people in place so that we all can work as a team. Like I don't do hierarchy, like I'm the boss and stuff like that.
So
I don't like be called.
So you're saying it's more not of you, it's like your people, it's the people under you, the people that it's the people around you that you put in that company to that bring out the best in the bar. Is what you're
Yes.
trying to
I
say.
like the second part. Before you said the people under me, I don't use that terminology because I believe it's the people around me.
You're right. That's why you see. I kind of
Yeah,
yeah.
you correct. Like the way you corrected that. So it's the people around me that I put around me, because if the people around me love what's going on, they want to come to work. They actually have a little bit more passion for the work. Shout out to everybody on my team because
Dope.
they actually do that, and I thank God for that. But when you create that and cultivate that, it makes everything work because I still have my position, what I have to do, and everybody depends on what I need to do and make sure I make sure I make myself dependable. So I
Right.
try to model what I want my team to be. You know what I mean? So
Interesting.
yeah.
Interesting. Tell me more about because you said this. You said when you bought Sidebar, you were renting out Sidebar, and then you eventually bought the building of Sidebar. So, tell me a little bit about real estate. I'm trying to step my one foot into real estate, and I'm like maybe 10 months in, 11 months in. Tell me,
Doing your thing too, proud of you.
I'm trying, bro. I'm trying. Yo, I call this dude like a couple times a week. I know he looking like, man, it's this nigga again, yo. But
I'll be there though.
yeah, he be there. Nah, it hasn't been one time he hasn't been there. But yeah, tell me about the real estate game. Like, you in a real estate game with me right now. So when did you start, and what's the difference? I remember, yo, this guy told me he bought his first house at it was under 1,000, right?
Yeah, I bought my first house at $800,
Oh my
$1,100 after
gosh.
taxes at the city auction. I started 20. Well, just turned 37, so bought my first house at 22, city auction. During those times, like right now, real estate is very trendy, which is a great trend, other than anything else. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? When I was doing it, life was a little bit different. When I started off, wasn't very encouraged into it because nobody was really looking at. Especially, I was buying hood houses. I was buying houses in smack dab in the hood that we ride by every day. Um, it was it was a different time. So back then, houses were going a little bit cheaper, but it wasn't really too cheap in my mind. Like you say, like, damn, you bought it for $800,
$800.
I was 22. At that time, I only had $1,500 to my name. You know what
Wow.
I'm saying? I just came up off of work, and I just came out of college, working in the union. I worked for the local 85 Carpenters Union, and I saved up $1,500 and took a chance and went to the auction. God had it so that he blessed me with a house in the middle of the hood. And it took me 2 years of everyday working. Shout out to my pops. He helped me every day on that thing to get my first one solidified and done. And I lived in there for about 4 or 5 years. So that was my first really path into generational wealth and also into, financial freedom, because a lot of my friends at the time either was living at home or you're renting out apartments. They was looking at me crazy, like they was paying like $800-900 for apartments.
Right.
And you understand, I dropped. It took me about 15 grand after 2 years. I mean, say about 18 months. So if you do the math, there's only like I'm putting like $800 a month.
Well,
into it.
yeah.
I mean, to finish it off and get it done. But when I got it done, my taxes is only $1,200 a year.
And you rent free.
So I'm living $100 a month plus RG&E. So
But tell me what got you there at 22, because I'm only 24, but like the average 22-year-old, you got $1,500 to your name and you taking $800 put into a house that this is not 2021. Everybody's, oh, that's a smart move. And you said you buying hood houses. People were probably looking down on you when you was doing stuff like that.
yeah, they were looking at
So tell me how that went, because my 22-year-old, I want to go buy a car with that. I want to go trick with that. I want to go to the bar with that.
All that. Well, I come up from a family, you know what I'm saying, and I come up from a culture, Jamaican by born here, mother, father, whole, everybody. So, it's my mother bought her first house her on her own, put it together, raised us and stuff like that. My dad showed me how to use my hands, be a carpenter. And I thank God for always just wanting. I read one day, too, while I was in high school and shit like that 90% of all wealthy people are in real estate. That was in Forbes magazine, and that's still to this day. You go look it up. It's 90% of wealthy people's portfolio is real estate.
And that was an aim. That was an end goal. Like, I just want to be wealthy.
I want to be wealthy so I can help others around me. I want to be wealthy so I could be a resource, because God's the source. I want to be wealthy so I can achieve certain things in life that I never thought would be attainable. I want to be wealthy so my kids can eat. I want to be wealthy so my kids don't got to start from scratch. I want to be wealthy for others, and I also want to be wealthy for myself, so I want to live a good, decent life. So I'm still building my wealth.
That's powerful.
I mean, that's just me.
That's powerful though. That's powerful.
You know what I mean? So when it comes to that, you know what I mean? When it comes to that, like at 22, I have friends and everything like that. I just always wanted the opportunity. I come around, especially my brothers and them. They all showed me a different way of life, and they exposed me. My mom exposed me to great things of life. My brothers exposed me to great things in my life. My uncles exposed me, my family, all. So as a youngin', I was just a young child that really soaked things in. I realized as I'm older now, and I just did my best with what the resources I had. So I thought that, boom, when I read that article, I don't know when I read the article, it must have been in high school because it's still stuck in my brain. I don't have a date to it. I said, yo, I got to do houses. I gotta try. That's coming from where I come from. Is like, what else can I grab onto? Like, you know what I mean? So when I bought the house, I was very proud of myself. It was very messed up, very fucked up. You hear me? Be real with you.
Keep it a buck. Yeah.
My mom came through. She looked at me crazy, like, why would you do this to yourself, son? Why did you buy this? You know, I even had to tell her, like, Mom, can you like go home?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Bye, Mom.
Bye, Mom. It's not like she didn't believe in me, but it's just a motherly love. Like, you know, son, like, you know, she's seen the weight, but now she see me now, and when I pick up these kind of products similar to him, she like, this is made for you. That's what you do.
Right.
So it's like I even had to make my mom believe.
Right. That's the hard. Isn't that? I don't know about you, but that's one of the hardest things. I don't care what a nigga outside think about me. My mom or grandma tell me no, or you should be a doctor, you should be this. Yo, my heart be like,
crack everything down.
Yo, I be heartbroken. But I mean, like you said, the end plan, like,
yes.
What does she think about the end plan? She has to be proud.
She told me the other day she's proud, and I appreciate that. I'm still going at it. Yeah, still going at it.
Yo, Will's probably like, yeah.
She did, but you know what I mean. I still pushing at it because it's not like this is not the end. I'm still in it. I believe it's still the beginning, even though I'm years in.
You said the beginning?
It's still the beginning for me because how I look at it personally, I can't even lie to you. It's like I spent all these years. Specifically, I'll say from 13 because that's when my mind was activated. So my dad locked me in a house and made me rehab a house with him when I was 13. That's from that point on, I followed carpentry and I followed real estate and I followed houses. So I thank him for that gift.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So from then, that's 24 years. So the last 24 years as a young person, a young man, into a man, I've been building my foundation. A lot of people forget about the foundation. Foundation, some people build a foundation quick. Some people build a foundation, takes a little while. But don't ever not build your foundation. So the foundation for me is like finding my way, building my real estate portfolio, knowing what that does, learning more of it, and then also making yourself a sound human being. And that don't mean you're perfect, because I got a lot of flaws, but it's understanding and knowing yourself. So, and having a deep faith in, for me, God.
Right.
So it took me 24 years from my understanding to build this foundation so far. So this is the beginning. Now for me, it's time to build the house and the skyscraper. So a lot of people like to just go straight to the house. I'll talk in metaphors and parables. So a lot of people just like to, especially in this world right now, everything is microwave, everything is quick. So with y'all, that's where I think like younger education shit is, younger generation shit is quick, but the fundamentals don't change. If you get it quick, you still need to formulate a fucking foundation.
Right.
Something you can fall back on.
And you feel like that's a thing that a lot of us lack in, like people my age, and even people back then your age.
Yeah. People just lack on building the foundation of life. And it doesn't mean like you just some crazy ass millionaire and billionaire. No, it means just learning what you can manage, pushing what you can manage to the next level, and maintaining that shit. Find a level you can maintain at. When you go to the next level, find a level you can maintain that. When you go to the next level, find a level you can maintain that, because it's so easy to run up a bag, but it's hard to maintain the money.
Tell me about the obstacles that you had in that 22-year-old. Like you said, my obstacles, I don't know what you was going on with your age, but I know we have so many obstacles with people. We want to be like our rappers. We want to be like these drug dealers. We want to have the fancy cars. I remember when I bought my first BMW. Will looked at me like, "Yo, that shit kind of fire, but you might want to sell that and go get a house." And what did I do?
That's
Like,
a big
I
fact.
bought the house first.
You
I bought
did,
the house. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do both.
Yeah, you
And then
could
I
do
was
both.
like, you know, I'm gonna just sell the BMW and I'm gonna just go get another house.
Right.
But tell me about the obstacles that you had growing up. Like, even I know you probably had friends around that age. Well, what separated you? Because I know for a fact your friends weren't doing what you were doing.
I had friends that tried, and I had friends that was with me for a little while. But I think looking back, what separated me a little bit is just the mind state of, and I gotta accredit it to my mom, and my pops, a lot to my mom, and just she exposed me from young. She was taking me to different real estate seminars or free ones and stuff like that, or pay a little $100, and she's just. For some reason she kept on just taking me to them. You know what I'm saying? I never went to the next level where they say, "Yo, pay 20 grand, go to the next level." But the information they gave me, I applied it to the fullest. During those times, like you said, it's no different from what y'all going through now. Is really no different from what I was going through growing up. The only thing different is that y'all got the social media heavier. We seen this shit in the streets. We seen the big whips. We seen the designer. We seen all that stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's more in our face. Now it's more in your hand, so it's more consuming. So all that drug dealing and shit went up through that shit. Came up through that shit. Understand it. You know what I mean? But even the ones like in the field now or back then, it's all about what is your out goal. A lot of people run the streets and they don't have an out goal. That is their goal. So they want to become the best cowboy out there in the streets. But as you see, that has no real end goal. I don't knock it at all, one bit at all. Those who know me understand that. But there has to be an out. So the difference back then and now is just like, it's just this, I believe it's just the social media. You guys have more access into everything in your face. We had it too, but we had it at our level.
Right.
And it was just as intense. It's just even more so now. The difference is I actually personally wanted more, and I still personally want more. I don't see myself as no platform or nothing like that. I still keep myself in a hungry gutter, in the mind state. So regardless of what's going on around me, because it keeps me aware, it keeps me on point, and it keeps me hungry, it keeps me ambitious, keeps me creative, innovative. You just have to want more and not just want it in a sense of just talking about it and thinking something's going to drop in your lap and happen. You have to want more and understand that every little piece is a part of your puzzle to get there. I use the analogy like most people just like to say a painting, like say a Picasso, right? Everybody know Picasso.
Yeah.
Shit. Everybody, just say the Mona Lisa.
Right.
Everybody loves the Mona Lisa. Not everybody would. It's just a great painting or whatever it may be. But people forget or not even think about that. The more important part of the Mona Lisa is every fucking stroke it took to make it. So when he made that first stroke on that canvas, nobody knew what the fuck it was about to be. He made that 100th stroke on that canvas, still nobody knew what the fuck it's going to be.
Pay attention to what he's saying, yo.
So it's just you have to consistently, even without the recognition, that's the difference too. Even without the recognition, you have to keep on digging at your shit. Even when the shit say no, like this shit ain't about to happen, you keep fucking digging at your shit.
Right.
Because only you know. Nobody can tell you what you know. You're here, everybody's programmed to do what they're supposed to do for this earth so it could be a better place or whatever purpose God has for. If you're sitting here right now doing your own purpose, we think personal, like, our lifespan, what we're going to do. I'm starting to think more of like, my lifespan, what I want to do. I'm going to do my best to enjoy it and make sure my kids are right and everything else around me is great. But what I'm doing right now is going to affect somebody 200 years from now.
That's crazy. I don't even think like that.
Like everything we're doing, even this is not a simple interview. You know what I'm saying? Even what you're doing here with your podcast and everything like that, you may think like, that's why you have to think a little bit longer. That way, when you think a little bit longer, it gives you a little bit more. It gives you a little bit more ambition and it gives you a little bit more joy during the down times because you're not looking for the short-term goal.
Okay.
You're looking for the long-term goal.
It makes a lot of sense, though.
For me. That's just my analogy to my knowledge on it.
Do you think life changed when you stopped thinking for you and just your immediate people and started thinking for the world, thinking for the people, thinking for even your town, even uplifting your town? What do you think that did for you as a person? Like your blessings.
It gives you when you got something bigger than yourself, and also you make things bigger than yourself. It gives you humility. Like it gives you a humbleness that no matter what you obtain, you should be able to be talked to. No matter where you at, you should be able to walk in anywhere. No matter what's going on, even some person that's less fortunate, that somebody will call a bum, can drop jewels on you.
Facts.
If you're don't have the humility, and for me personally, and the humbleness, you can't receive. God sends blessings all type of ways, and blessings come through people. Yeah, that's what I learned too. Yeah. Like, yo, God bless me, God bless me. You feel good, God is going to drop something in your lap. No, you have to talk to somebody or something, somewhere.
Any shape or form.
Blessings come through people. So I have to learn that life is not an island, and you have to associate yourself with right people. And the right people doesn't mean that prosperity. Right people just means the right soul of a person. It could be, like I said, less fortunate bum. It could be a billionaire, trillionaire. It don't matter what, and everybody in between. Yeah. You cannot really understand or rate where you're going to get your jewels from to take you to the next level. That's what I've learned.
Wow.
I mean, from this going through this life shit.
Okay, I know we got to get back into the houses, but do you believe that there's a certain pattern or formula to being successful? Like, I know you from Sidebar. I met you from, remember you had the clothing line, Black Bill. This guy was he went to Deja Blue like, yo, what's up, Fire Kid? I'm like, yo, who is this nigga? He's like, yo, I got hats for you. I remember we and Website was clashing. You gave the whole sound hats. And so I wouldn't even call this guy a business owner. He's like a straight entrepreneur. What would you call yourself?
I guess entrepreneur is the term, but you know what I mean. I am the business. I'm a business.
I am a business. I'm not a bit. I don't run a business. I am a business.
I run myself like a business, and that's why I got a little different view on life and different ups and goods and difficulties. Because I run my life like a business.
Do you think there's a certain pattern or formula to being like successful? Being you say you are a business. You think there's talk about that? Daily waking up early, going to sleep late, how you eat. It's more than just making money.
Yeah, it's way more than making money for me. I believe, period. For the formula, like they say successful and stuff like that, like I'm still building my success in a sense. I keep myself very humble, so I don't, like people say you're successful, like I still don't consider myself a success. Like, I can't say like smacking God in the face with that at all, but I'm doing good, and I thank God for providing and keep on going. So I keep myself humble now more, but I've done things I guess I'm successful in. Okay. To cultivate, I guess, a successful, if you're using the word successful mind state, it's if you get up every day, right, and we're programmed and programmed to be the masses, meaning like we go to school, get our degrees, or we go out and we work, and you're willing to show up to somebody else's job and stuff like that on time, you know what I mean, for years, get your check and stuff like that, right? I believe you should be able to do that for yourself. A lot of times we need outside forces to make us get up, make us do things, or make us even want to go to work. Like your work gives you a schedule and a procedure, and that's why you get up at a scheduled time to go to work, because you're giving that. I believe you have to give that to yourself. So if you're a 9-to-5er, which is always great, I believe in multiple streams of income. That's where I started, and I will get a job any day that I need to. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And that's a fact, because it's a stream of income. If you're a 9-to-5er, you can do 8 hours for a stranger that pays you X amount. For what it is, from minimum wage to you're getting paid $20,000 an hour, and you get up and you go. I believe you should be able to at least cut out 4 to 6 more hours after that complete day for you investing in yourself and whatever it may be, whether it's gaining knowledge of something that you have an ambition to obtain and then applying that knowledge, or you already have a business going on and dedicating another 4 to 6 hours into that business. Not sit on the couch thinking that you deserve to sit back and relax and Netflix and chill because you did 8 hours for somebody else. Do a couple more hours for yourself.
So did you do that after you bought your first house?
I've done that every day of my life.
So tell me about your daily movements after you bought that first house. So you're like, okay, I got a house. I live here. You said you were living in your house, right?
Yeah.
What did you do? What did you do when you woke up that next day after everything was done? Like, I got to get my second one.
Yeah. So when I got my first house done, I still was working. Like I came out of college, went to school I went to Alfred State. So I went down there and learned how to build houses. So I went there and I have an AOS, Associates of Occupational Studies in Building Construction. So I went down in Alfred State and I learned how to build houses, like legitimately build houses. Came back, bought my first house, got had it sold about 6 months out of college, and
Dope.
and I worked on it. So after I got that one done, my mindset is like, I need another one. You know what I mean? Because on that property, I also had a big garage, like a huge garage. It used to be a factory. So in my mind, I'm like, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, it's still there. One day, now I'm 15 years.
You still got that house?
Yeah, I still have my first house.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah, 14, 15 years later, I still have my first house.
And you said there's a factory on there.
Yeah, it used to be an old school. People that back in the day when you used to get your milk at your door.
Yeah.
I have a building that's crazy in the back. That used to be the factory. They used to drop off the milks to people at their door.
Yo.
It's kind of crazy. Real
Yo,
estate
that's
shows you
different,
a lot
yo.
of different things. Yeah, it's very different. Right in the middle of the hood. You know where my house is.
Yeah. Right now, yeah.
Still renting it out. Got a tenant. Well, I was living there for 5 years, but I have a tenant in there that they paid me my money. It's a free and clear house and everything like that.
So somebody that's trying to buy a house, before we even get there, what's the game plan when you're buying houses? Like, my thing is I like to buy and keep. I see a lot of people talking about buying and reselling, buying. I don't know what's a BRR and buying and flipping. My whole thing was like buying and keeping. So what was your strategy?
See, when I started, like you asked me before, from the first question you just asked me from back, you said, after you got your first one, what was your goal? My goal ultimately was, back then, I didn't have access to all this funds that's around in the world. Like, I didn't have a credit score that was good. I didn't know about credit. I just saved my money and just tried to do what I could do with what I had. So I knew, like, I used to go and try, though. They used to deny me.
Like the banks?
Banks. I couldn't get a credit card.
Yeah, fuck the banks,
I couldn't get a credit card. I couldn't get a mortgage or whatever product we had at the time.
Yeah.
So I told myself personally, like after reading that Forbes thing again, I said I need to build my net worth some way, somehow. Because the bank do not lend money to people that need money. They lend money to people that don't need money that makes money.
Right.
They're not in the game of saving
Y'all heard
people.
that? Can you say that one more time?
The bank does not lend money to people that need money. They lend money to people that don't need money that want to make them more money.
Okay. So what was give me the obstacles? Give me the obstacles. I'm in the same boat. Like, even to this day, I got houses, I got all this type of shit. I could probably go to the bank right now and still get denied on the credit card.
Right. Well, if I could just go back to like building, my thing is like building net worth when I was starting. Like,
so the net worth is like houses.
Houses. So my avenue of building net worth after reading that article is houses. So, and that's one of the biggest asset parts in America. When outside of intangible properties and stuff like that, but assets is the old school main way.
Right.
So how I looked at it is like, I'm going to buy as many houses as I can. So when I bought the first one, got that done, I still was working at the time. I saved up another like $5,000-6,000 instead of going balling out with my friends and chilling and everything like that. I bought another house in the hood. So 6 months after I finished my first one, I bought my second one, and every 6 months after that, I kept on stacking my bread and kept on buying them. So after a while, I built up my net worth. So if I spent, this is how I look at it. The first property, I spent about 17 grand total to get me into to live.
Okay.
But I had to. Us growing up in the community, all we think about is money. It's flashy. It's just money. Money is everything. But I had to learn that it's not all about the money. It's about the asset, especially when you're trying to tap into these other financial worlds. So the asset is it's not way more important, but it's more important than the cash flow. Cash is in my mind, I had to learn that as a tool. I use cash as a tool to get more cash and to get more assets.
Right.
You understand me? So when you're building up this assets, now I have these assets. So first price was 17,000, right? Back then the market was different. While I put 17,000 into the house at that current moment was worth 40,000. So in my mind, I had to understand and reevaluate my mind. What I just did was double my money up front.
Off the rip.
Off the rip. During those times, running through the streets and everything, people look at me like I'm stupid because like you spent 17,000, you got this house in the hood and everything. I'm living whatever it was not. Everybody thought 17,000 in hand was better than 40,000 asset that I only took 17,000 to get.
Yeah.
I had to train myself during the times to understand that this money is a tool to get more money, and assets is really the game for me. Everybody else got their own hustle. Assets is the game for me.
Right.
So I had to learn from back then. Even now, like I don't spend more than 50 to 40% on a dollar. So if I got a house that's worth 100,000, best believe I didn't spend more than 40 to 30,000 to get it.
Yo, that's crazy.
Because I have to put work into it. But even so, if I can make it out, I'm not going to be over the 50% into the house. So it's all about building assets. I had to learn that. One thing I wish I would have known that I'm learning now back then is that I wish I would have had the financial literacy that everybody that's so freely given now that your generation has.
Can you explain that before? Because I kind of know what you're gonna say, but it's crazy because people my age looking at it back in the day like it was so easier. Just off the strength, you said you bought your first house for $800,
right?
And I bought my first house. You know the market is kind of crazy right now. The minimum you're looking at is 25, 26, and you saying you bought that cash. People could easily get 800 cash right now, so they're thinking it's easy, but it's hard to get that 25. Right. Like I never went to the bank. I don't know how you got your first set. You told me how you got your first set of money, but I saved. You know, it's cash flow and saving.
It's cash flow and saving.
So you're saying there's a lot of resources.
It's a lot of resources as like financial literacy resources, right? So if you're really focused on like getting yourself together, it's a good thing to just start focusing on your credit. Finding different people that can learn how to, if you have bad things on your credit, hook up with these different companies out here. I recommend ones, I'm not going to recommend anybody specifically that I've used, but what I'm going to say is like find a good credit repair company. Fix your credit up, meaning like get anything that derogatory old credit cards and stuff like that. Either find a way to get them off of your credit as a young person. Start building your credit profile, whether it be like with gasoline cards that you stay on top of, and that nature. Open you a business. Go invest in yourself and open your LLC. These are routes that I took a little bit younger. I mean, that I didn't know about when I was younger, starting off in the game. But with it being so now, it's so much money in the world that you guys can tap into it, even me, more easier.
Right.
But you have to do the work to prepare your back office. When I say back office, having your credit right, have your business set up in a certain kind of way, structured right. And those are parts of what I originally said before, a foundation. You have to work on making yourself better to make yourself prepared to go into the avenue where you want to go into. So find out, even if it's hard, find out the things that you need to make yourself better and more valuable to get the money that you need to get these houses.
Right.
So when people like now, like I see people like you, 24, 25. Some people have great jobs. Some people have decent jobs. Even those jobs, I always tell them people look down on jobs, but the jobs are good. That's a source of income.
Right.
You're stronger than a person like me where I have a source of income, but I'm more entrepreneur, so it's all business. You understand me? So it's write-offs and all different things like that, but you have a source of income. These are all power. People look down on it, but these are all power things that you have in your arsenal to get these houses if that's the route you want to go. To start a simple business, well, wherever it may be, because there's so many ways to just resell things and do whatever going on right now. And whatever you were drawn to, you know what I'm saying, beauticians, whatever, nails, whatever it may be, it could be tech. Whatever you're drawn to, find out what's needed to invest in that, and don't be discouraged in it when you don't see progress, because it's going to come.
Yeah. Tell me about, like, how do you feel about the progress of having, like, the first house you said, like, when you rented out your first house? Because I know you said you put up a lot of money, and remember back in the day, rent wasn't skyrocketed right now. It was how were you, like 600-700
Yeah.
max back then?
Yeah, 6-7. Well, for me, I was doing about 700 for my rents for my properties. But how I looked at it is like this: it's like I use houses also as a saving mechanism, but as like an investment. It was an investment mechanism, but as a saving mechanism. So, say I bought my first house for the $1,100 fixed that up. That's 17 grand after everything sitting there. Lived in it while I was doing it. I bought another house for $6,000. It took me about $5,000 to get it up to livable standard. 11. So I'm $11,000 total to my next house. It's a different market back then.
Right.
Set written off for $700, but that $11,000 now I'm earning more and more. That's not $11,000. That's really $30,000 to $40,000
In the bank. That's like
asset.
Yeah, asset wise.
So I'm adding to my net worth. So now that I have 2 properties, instead that I spent 11 and 17 for $28,000, I'm really worth $80,000 now. It only took $28,000 to get there. So that's the game I was playing when I started. But even so, now it's the same game with y'all. Just have to spend a little bit more money because the market is up. So that same house you just spent $25,000 for is going and flowing. That shit is still, if it's where it's supposed to be, it's worth $75,000.
That's crazy. I don't mean to cut you off, but have you checked like the value of your houses recently?
Right. So you understand what I'm saying?
They skyrocketed.
Skyrocketed. So I always started it where it wasn't skyrocketed, where it was just a base. That's why everybody's like, yo, I'm not going to invest in no houses, whatever.
Oh, because it wasn't like that back in the day. I get it. I get it.
This is what I'm telling you. If you could find a way to get in now, I'm 15 years in. So now I'm starting to see the true value of my properties, but it took me 10,
15 years to see that.
But during those times, I use those properties for cash flow. That's my main reason to get into it. My main reason to get into real estate was the cash flow.
Like the monthly
rent.
Right.
So what I did was basically create a salary for myself with my houses. So once I got up to like 4 houses times 7, I'm making $2,100 a month. Most people don't make that working a full-time job.
Okay.
So I use my houses as that cash flowing, but there was 2 sides of it. Cash flowing, but yeah, I'm still worth X amount.
In the bank. Everything is like, that's like savings. Okay, I got 20 put up. I got 11 put up. And that doubled, so I'm 100 up, and then I still got this monthly income coming up.
This monthly income, so certain
you
times
can't lose.
You can't lose, especially when you got the longevity play. You're not trying to run it up quick. So how I was looking at it with that is, it's like there's days where you think about the money, and I'm broke, but I had to understand I wasn't broke. I used to get in my car, 24 years old, drive around the city. I had like 4 houses at the time. Okay,
Yeah,
that's my 20 grand. That's my 30 grand. That's my 30 grand. That's my 40. So I'm worth about $100,000. I just don't have the cash, but I have the asset.
right.
I had to change the mind.
How hard was that to change your mind though? When you got everybody else like you're an idiot. You need to be 100 up. You need to show me 100 cash right now.
All that shit like that, but I really didn't want them all. I didn't really. Excuse me.
Nah, you good, yo. This is raw, bro.
I ultimately, God gave me the eye of discernment, and I really didn't want their lifestyle anyway.
Straight.
My lifestyle was really what I wanted was around people I'd never seen before that I see and read about. So I didn't see following their path. They did great things. I mean, ultimately, I've been around a bunch of amazing, great people. It's life, people, experiences, mentors, and stuff like that growing up, especially coming up young. And I give them all the salute. But ultimately, I didn't want to, I had other aspirations. Even though, yeah, for myself, that I saw outside. So the people that are telling me or discouraging me, or just not really like supporting it because they don't see what I'm talking about, after a while, it hurt for a while, but after a while, it didn't really bother me because they were older. A lot of people were older than me. I didn't want to live their life they were living at their age anyway. So I'm cool, right, whether you're balling out or not. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to do it in any kind of form that you're in. So I just had to learn how to cultivate a skin of what I need for me.
Yeah, so I know you got an IG, and I check your IG every couple of months. You're like, yeah, I got this new property. My name Will. I got this new property over here. We gutting the roof over here, and I like that kitchen. I don't know what kitchen you keep posting, but that kitchen is fire. I seen you burnt some lamb in that kitchen the other day. I got to give you a little lesson. You got to go link your brother, but
I can't cook. Nigga. I can build a kitchen though. Fact.
Tell me about the. Tell me what is the game plan now when you have that cash flow. I remember you said earlier, okay, you got 4 houses now. You got you renting 4 apartments out, renting 4 houses out. You're getting $2,800 a month. What are you doing? Because I see you getting a couple houses. You get a house every, like you said, every 6 months back in the day. I know nothing's changed. What are you doing? Are you going to the bank? Are you getting a refinance? Are you taking your monthly income off these rental properties and getting new houses? But
well, it's a combination of everything. Mainly, like, is this? I'm a reinvestor, so most people blow their money and shit. I reinvest my money, so it's not like most people think like, "What are you doing now?" Wow. This is years and over a decade of going in, and still going in. So when it comes to the cash flow and the real estate, for me, my real estate has given me the ability to fuel other businesses. So the cash flow is for other businesses. It's for the business, and it's for to start other businesses in my portfolio.
right,
So even when it comes to the business, like real estate has fueled everything in my life. You know what I mean? You can see it from my head. Like, this is my brand. Real estate saved my life. Like, I live by this. So after God, real estate saved my life. The cash flow. The cash flow is for reinvesting into your business if you really believe in your business. Any big business that you be around, even these iPhones and stuff like that, they reinvest their capital over and over and over, especially in the beginning stages, because you have to grow. Even when you don't understand it, you have to grow. So you have, like, I see you got here, like inside your place here, you're reinvesting capital. Like, you're buying more equipment. You're setting up a place. You have, you know what I mean, whatever's going on, but you're investing in your business.
right,
So that's what the cash flow is for, initially, to make the business stronger. That goes back to my one fundamental of building a foundation. Also, what it does with the cash flow, it helps me to get the ability to create other streams of income by trying to create other businesses. So I have the clothing line. Clothing line is not dead. It's just with the clothing line morphed into Sidebar.
right.
So you got to understand that sometimes with these businesses, sometimes it's for the purpose of another business. So the basis of everything around me, I am a real estate person. And even when I've got the bar and everything, the bar is still real estate to me because it's a space I rent to myself and I rent to others and stuff like that. It's still real estate. It's like McDonald's. McDonald's is not in the fast food business. They're in real estate. They own every McDonald's own the land they're on. So that's the stuff that I'm on. So I reinvest.
I never looked at it like that though.
You look into them, especially after they moved, they explain it to you like they got into the business of real estate. They own their buildings. Most other fast food lease out their buildings.
So it's not just about the food.
No, they own the land too.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's very important for me to own land. So I reinvest in businesses. So Sidebar also comes from my real estate. My real estate, I had to sell houses, sell a few houses, about 3-4 houses, just to get into Sidebar. You know what I'm saying? To put a down payment to rehab the place. It took me a whole year, and that was a cost to rehab the whole place, to build it to where it was at that time. Maintain staff, pay taxes, different things of that nature. So I had to trade off my real estate some of my real estate portfolio to get into another business. But that was from me investing in real estate. You understand me? So if I didn't invest in real estate years back when, and hold on for my houses, I wouldn't have the ability to transition over into another industry or whatever it may be. But it's really the same industry, like I said, because
It's the same thing.
Yeah, real estate. It's just, I have a bar in it. I own the bar. If I owned the building, somebody else would have had a bar in there. I just decided to put
Your bar in there.
Yeah.
So that's just extra.
It's just another business.
So tell me about. So is it like a spiral effect now? Like, you've been in there for 15 years. You have the cash flow off your tenants alone. Is that just like every couple months?
It don't work like that.
It doesn't?
I think like it's like a culmination of everything. There's ups and downs, ins and outs. So it's not like massive cash flow and all that stuff like that.
Okay.
It's just understanding what goes on and what you've been doing over a while. It's like studying your market, studying the field of business you're in. So after 15 years, it took 15 years to build up a portfolio that has been ever changing. So it's been a time where I was young, like in my 20s, I've owned 10 houses. Like I'm now down to 4. You know what I'm saying? But at the 4, it's like I built up 10 hood houses and I traded them all for 4 nice houses. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to play the market I'll go. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I would probably cash flow more with the 10, but there's more problems. You understand me? So it's
It's
just
like chess. What'd you call it?
it's chess when it comes to it. So a lot of people look at me like, "Dang, you been doing this for a while. You get mad cash flow." Like, no, you have to grow and grow with the market. Like I wasn't a person that was put into the market with a mentor and somebody to tell me how to do it. So I took a lot of losses, but my losses were lessons. So I learned from the hard knocks. So I had to pay for my lessons, and the lessons was very expensive.
Wow.
And so it's not a fan of how like get in here like everybody tell you get in here it's gonna blow up out of the no. I teach longevity games. I don't teach quick come ups. I don't know how to come up quick. People see me now and they think I came up quick. People that know me, no.
What do you have to tell those people though? Because do you think a lot of people? It might not even be from real estate because I know that's kind of low key. But even you having a successful bar, like top restaurant bar with the restaurant in Rochester, do you feel like people look at you and be like, "Yo, that should be me," or he got that overnight, and they don't know the hard work you put in to that? What would you have something to tell them? Or even people trying to be like you, not saying they want to be exactly like you, but something like aspiring, like tell them like this is not no overnight shit.
No, it's not no overnight shit, and I'm still on the night shift. I still ain't come to the morning yet, so I'm telling people like you just gotta mind your own fucking business and stick to that shit, stay in the ground, and keep running, keep digging, keep going at it. Don't fucking stop, and mind your business. Like
So one more time, say that one more time.
like really mind your business. It's not like being cynical or anything like that or sarcastic. It's meaning like tune your mind to your business.
Right.
That's what mind your business really means. Tune your mind to all of your business and find out where you're lacking. Find out your SWOT. Where's your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your strengths.
Fix it.
I mean your threats. That's what I mean. You know what I'm saying? And fix them and work on them and making them better and better. So I just tell people just mind your business.
All right, yo, if you was in my shoes right now, asking the questions, what was one question you would ask yourself? Maybe something you thought I left out about you, about the real estate, about a jewel you would want me to drop, you know?
When you're discouraged, how do you keep going?
That's a deep one.
That's it.
What's the answer? What's the answer? I know. It might look like a Bed of Roses on IG. It might look like, yeah, Will booming in Sidebar every day. He has houses. It might look like Fight Kid, the top DJ in the town. Like I don't know about him, but there's a lot of days I wake up like, yo, man, I'm about to book my flight, man. I'm out of here. I'm sick of it. So yeah, what answer would you have for that?
You should book that flight.
I'm not talking about going on vacation.
I'm talking about relocating.
Reload. Why would you say? Everybody been telling me that.
So
Everybody has been telling me that, yo.
You still gotta you're still young. You may think that you're older now and 24. You got this shit going on, and that's the advice I would give to you if you want advice. I would tell you that this is always going to be here, and I've proven that by being here. You need to find out what's going on outside of here, and not only just find out, soak into that shit, and invest in that. If you already got investments going on here, this is to fuel your next part of life.
Wow.
So this is what I've took a lot of time building here, and I love my town, love my city, whatever, but it's not the ultimate place to
Flourish.
No, it's a place to flourish. Matter of fact, it's a great place to flourish, a great place to build. It's just, you have an opportunity right now at a young age to see more. So if you can see more, and if you really have a passion for a place like this, you bring it back and expand, because we have a lot of gaps, a lot of niches that need to be filled in.
Mm-hmm. Even the entertainment field.
Entertainment field, tech field, medical field, everything, every field. Rochester is a land of opportunity. A lot of people look down on it, but it's really a land of opportunity outside the 4 blocks of the hood. You know what I mean? I
got a question though, because you're like the 10th person who told me that this month. But I'm like me. I'm looking at it on a bigger scale. I'm seeing RIT bringing everybody here. I'm seeing the hospitals bring everybody here. I'm seeing the major colleges. I'm seeing how real estate, even like the houses on a small level, but I'm looking at all the buildings being built up, the rent going up. I see people moving in. I'm like, why would I move out?
When I'm telling you to move out, is it's more of a advice to stay invested here because it's a great foundation.
Oh, okay.
You know this shit like I know this shit myself like the back of my hand. So you already have that DNA. So why not go out and still invest here? A lot of times when we tell people to move, even for myself, I had to realize that I don't have to cash out to move. Like that's what we think about. I'm relocating. That's it. No, you can have multiple places to live.
Yeah, I could keep all this. What you're saying?
You should keep
I
all
should
this.
keep all this.
All this helps you survive outside of this.
Right.
That's the whole point of building this. So that's the purpose of building. For me, building this is to get the fuck outside of this and still sustain, still uplift, and still invest in my home. Well, make another home.
Man, I should do that while I'm young.
You should do that now.
Did you do that?
I'm still here.
Okay.
I'm just telling you something.
Right. You got any questions? You got any questions for me?
What made you do this? Matter of fact, fuck that. What got you going? What makes you What makes you the youngest in charge?
Yo, I woke up and I looked at myself in the mirror one time. I was like, yo, you're him and he's you. Now let me stop. Youngest in charge. Like I feel like from I was a jit, I was like 13, 12 around the older kids, and I was learning stuff. Everything I do, like you said, I bring it to the 100. Like I don't want to get any clubs closed down. They might be closed down. I was like a 13, 14 shutting down clubs, and I know I have a lot of mentors and everything I do, like everybody's like, yo, you just going hard. Like you really the youngest doing it. And I just put that into the youngest in charge. You know, that's simple.
So what's inside of you that owns it?
What's inside of me?
What's inside of you that owns that?
What do you mean by that?
Who are you?
Who am me?
Like what do you said the youngest in charge and you was labeled the youngest in charge, right?
Yeah.
What do you label yourself?
I'm me. I can't be nobody else. Like I don't have that many. I have a lot of goals, but I don't have a lot of like. My end plan is like take care of me, take care of my mom, take care of my family. Anybody around me, I take care of the people around me, and I want to live a good life. I want to entertain people. I see by entertainment and DJing, I change people's life. I told people like, yo, I was depressed. I heard people say that I was depressed. I was thinking about offing myself. I came to your party and like all that stress went away. That does something for me.
Right.
You know? And then I just took the music and I brought it into the business side. And I'm like, damn, I like music. I like this podcast room. Even this year I started a podcast room. Like, I don't really care about podcasts. And I was like, damn, I should really capitalize this. I feel like I have enough of a voice for people to really listen and learn. I could bring people that I look up to you like you and like shortmans and DJs and entertainers, and we could really change the world, like how you saying, you know? Like, even if it's one person, that's more than enough.
Way more than enough.
That's more than enough, you know? I got little kids that say they look up to me. They want to be a DJ. That shit is like, I don't care about the money at this point, you know? Like, I'm helping them. And I feel like it's the same to you. Like, even me, I don't know if I ever told you, I look up to you. Everything you do with the bar, with the real estate. I'm like, yo, I want to be like him when I grow up, you know? So don't ever stop. Don't ever feel like it's nobody watching what you're doing. It may not applaud you every day, but nigga, like, it's people that really look up to everything you do.
Right.
Yeah.
It's God blessed. What's your goal with the real estate though? You just doing it to do it, or what is the purpose? What are you trying to accomplish?
My goal with the real estate, I'm glad you said that. My goal with the real estate is retirement, and it's not like I want to have 100 houses. I'm not really into that. I see that you like the houses. I don't really care. Every time I walk into a house, like a new build, I get allergies. I start sneezing. I get sick. I into that. My goal is having like 10 to 15 houses, grossing me 10 to 15,000 a month. I feel like if I could get 10 to 15,000 a month and not I could sleep all month, that's my retirement. Everything else I do, like my podcast room, is extra. So I could have that 10, 15 bands, and now, like you said, I could go move, do whatever I got to do. That's all I want to do with real estate, you know?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You got to have a goal.
And I want it to be nice houses, too. I want it to be like, I want to up the living. I want people to live comfortable. I don't want to have like, you know, like I like houses in the hood too. I need them to be like good quality, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Up to par. People are comfortable living there and stuff like that. But that's my goal right here. I'm not one of these kids. Oh, I want 1,000 houses. I want this. Like, Nah, 10, 15 houses, 10 to 15 bands, however I get it, even if it's 5 doubles, that's it. That's all.
Work.
Yeah. What was your ultimate goal?
My ultimate goal is to build net worth and cash flow. My still ultimate goal is to one day be a billionaire.
Is there a stop point though?
I think there's more of I don't think it's stopping. I think it's transition point. So I went through a lot of transitions. It's not like I've been doing the same path of real estate since I started. I've been learning as I go and going through different transitions of life. So there is a transition point, and another transition points there. There'll be quick. And it'll be soon. Got to be soon, some kind of way. There's more transitions. I have no endpoint. Like if I can find a way to delegate and organize a firm, I'll own 1 million houses. I want to give a damn 1 million properties, whatever it might be. But whatever makes the ultimate goal of being able to be an ultimate resource and not have to and be completely financially free and healthy.
That's it.
Like I want to be financial freedom doesn't come with millions and billions of dollars. That could come from shit. You can be a person, say your bills a month is $2,400 and you got to build a business that grosses $3,000 a month.
You financially free.
You're literally financially
You don't
free.
gotta do nothing. You got $500 extra in your pocket to do what you want to do with it.
Yeah. So it's like, but on a grander scale, you know what I'm saying, for what my lifestyle entails.
Right.
And the growth for where it may be. So it's just financial freedom. I don't have to stress about money, getting up, nothing like that. And on top of that, feeding anybody that's around me, people that's around me. I want to be like the Bible. Like I said, I want my cup to overflow if I want everybody to benefit from what overflows from me.
Do you feel like you sacrifice a lot in your life to get to that point, or even helping people? Like I look at this, I wouldn't say it's major, but one of the key things you told me, I remember using Sidebar and I was DJing, and I pull up with that brand new Beamer right next to your what did you have at the time? You had the red Ruby.
Yeah.
He was like, yo, that shit is nice, man. I was like, yeah, you want to race this? I said something. He was like, yeah, but remember we was talking about house a couple months ago. I feel like you should get that. And I was like, damn, I just spent 20 bands on this car. I sold it like 14. I lost value in that. And then now, yesterday, I had bought a house for 25 bands 11 months ago, and that house is valued at $88,000 yesterday.
So that's when you pulled up on me. I said, you should go get your house.
You should go get that house. And so what I did was I bought the house. I still had a car, and then I was like, you know what? I'm going to sell a car and it's buy another house. And I'll look at today, the first house, it was 25. I bought it. It's worth 88. Then I just bought another one for 10. It's worth like 56.
So you just turned what? You just turned about 40 bands into $120,000, $130,000.
That's crazy though.
But not only that, that's the part people just think about, because that's what everybody talk about, and rehabbing and selling and refinancing. That is great, but I'm a person that focuses on free and clear and building assets. So when you could do something like that, G, you not only turn your money into $130,000 that you can access at whatever point if your credit and everything is right, but it's also cash flowing for you. So if you had $130,000 sitting in the bank right now, it will not give you the same return that your rent is giving you.
That 15 a month, that stack a month, it's nowhere near.
Nothing is doing that on a consistent basis right now. Stock market is great. I don't know what about the stock like that. I've got little stocks here and there. I'm a real estate guy. I like houses and cash flow. I can tell you about that. So when you do that, now your 40 bands is making you $1,500 a month. 3 years, it's free and clear.
And it damn near tripled.
And you still got the net worth in that motherfucker.
Right.
So you can't lose. And that's why I started in Rochester. That's why I started when I started. And even now it's still. In the market, most other cities, say like New York, Atlanta, and shit like that, you got to spend bands to get into these houses. They be like, oh, you got to spend 20 grand. Down there, you got to spend 50, 100, 200,000 to get in these houses. Out here, it's still pennies on the dollar. Where you still, like, I bought a double the other day for 17,000. I mean, you can find that. I bought another double for 35,000. Like, you can find these things.
So what would you tell people right now that's in the market that everybody's saying, oh, this is a seller's market and it's hard to get a house. Don't look for a house right now.
Stop listening to people. Just go look for a fucking house.
Go look for a house. Like, bro, go look for a house. Don't wait for it to be a buyer's market again. Houses may never be that low again.
It's always a market. Just remember that. It's always a market. And if whatever is for you, and I live off of that, you know what I'm saying, from my parents. So whatever is meant for you, you got a desires that your heart God will fulfill it. So you will find it. It may not look like what you want it to be like, but it's for you, and you can make it look like what you want it to be like. So you just keep on looking. So I don't listen to everything like people say. Sellers aren't gonna buy. I don't give a fuck what kind of market it is. I know it's a market
somewhere.
No, there's a market. The market doesn't stop.
Yeah,
it's not somewhere. It's right here or anywhere. It's everywhere. So you have to find out in that market who's selling what the fuck you can afford,
right,
and go buy it.
Simple.
It's not simple, but simple.
Like
the mind state is simple. The decision is simple, and then you got to put the actions.
You got to
behind
put
it
you got to put the grind in.
Yeah, the grind to make it happen. But the decision is simple.
But Will, I appreciate you for stopping by the podcast. I would love to talk to you for a couple more hours, but listen, I'm trying to go to Sidebar and get some jerk chicken with the mac and cheese with some of this all over it. So
Word.
Yeah,
you gotta tell them to come bring some of this down too. This is the shit.
Oh, yo man, this and they got a new mango. The mango fire.
They got orange apple. They no joke with them. Salute them too.
Yo, salute the Winter Red. Salute the Sidebar. Salute to Smoke Shack. We got some bongs and we got a lot of CBDs over there. So salute to all the sponsors. Salute to everybody grinding. One word of advice before we get out of here.
And stay healthy and believe in God. Everything possible.
And that's it. It was nice talking to y'all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. If you're in upstate New York, Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, I don't care if you're in Toronto, stop by Sidebar. And that's it. Yeah. We out of here, all right?
That's love.